Do good, Maverick here. Podcast episode number 154. If your incredible future success story were being documented, what would you be doing? This is this podcast episode. It's inspired by a great lesson from Joe Rogan. Now let me share the clip from Joe Rogan.
But I think what you were bringing up with Joey is a real good point. That a lot of people say, "Oh, I just want to sort of." They're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves, and the real way to do it is you got to write down what the fuck you want and then go after it. Because otherwise, you live in sort of a wishy-washy world. If you decide I'm going to get down to bang, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run a marathon in less than 5 hours. I'm going to, whatever the fuck it is, you got to write that shit down and go for it. What I tell people is the best advice that I've ever heard, the best advice I ever came up with, is that live your life like you're the hero in your movie. And right now is when the fucking movie starts and your life is a shitbag disaster, like every fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he wakes up and makes a blender full of pizza and ice cream. And that's what you know what I mean? Yeah. Those guys were like on the brink, they put the gun in their mouth and they put it down because they see a photo of their daughter. Pretend that's you. Pretend you are, right now, you're in the part of the movie that starts and it shows you as a fucking loser. And just decide not to be a loser anymore. Live your life like there's a documentary crew following you around and you are analyzing your own behavior. Do what you would want to do so that your kids one day would look back at it and see that documentary and look on it with pride. Like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her shit together. I love a success story. But even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. Those are my favorite stories. And the way to do that, you got to write shit down. You got to think that you are the hero in your own fucking movie. And then you got to sit down and you got to write shit down. Write down what you need to do.
Most people play the role of the victim in the movie, right?
Sure. Yeah, this life is fucking me over, man. I could have had this and I should have had that. And why does this guy get that? And why does that guy get this? And all things that are completely unrelated to you. Yeah. All things that you find other people's success as a downfall in your own existence. Instead of being inspired, instead of choosing to be positive, instead of like improving constantly on the direction of trying to achieve whatever the fuck you have written down, you just sit around and spiral. There's nothing more miserable than sitting around someone who's fucking complaining all the time. It is one of the most annoying things ever. Everybody hates it. When someone just sits around and they complain about their life and they don't do jack shit about it. And you tiptoe around it. You don't know what to say. Well, she gets upset when you bring that up. I don't want to bring that up. And you want to go, you fucking crazy bitch. You know what's wrong with your life. Yeah. Stop announcing it to everybody else and go out and fix that shit.
And that's tough love.
Tough love is what everybody needs, absolutely. Me included. That's the only good thing about like assholes on the internet. Sometimes they say things that's right. Yeah. Sometimes cunts will say shitty things to you on the internet about a show you did or a thing you said or, oh, that joke you made on the podcast, you're an asshole for even thinking like that. And, a part of you is like, fuck you, who the fuck are you? But you feel bad if things are correct. You feel bad if someone nails you. You'll feel bad if you didn't do anything wrong and someone acts like a cunt is just like, they look like a crazy person. Like, but you have to be able to have that honest assessment of yourself. And the only way you can do that is you're taking account of yourself all day long. You're taking account, you're writing down what the fuck you need to do. You're doing it. You have a mindset that you want to maintain throughout the day. Don't let the world maintain your mindset. You choose what mindset that you are going to maintain. And I fucking do that for sure.
That's it.
I tell you, words of wisdom by Joe Rogan.
There we have one of the clips. Let me share one more about the same concept.
Pretend there's a documentary crew filming your success story. And they're following you around right now. What would you do? What would you do if you knew that there was a crew following you around with cameras documenting your future incredible success and they want to catch you in the act of it all? You would do all the right things you would have to do. Think about that. Organize it. Pretend there's a...
So, there you have it. If you pretended that there was a documentary crew following you around 24/7, what would you be doing? Oftentimes we know what we should be doing, but we're not doing it. That's just a brilliant concept. And like Joe Rogan said, It was the best advice, or one of the best advice that he knew of when it comes to self-improvement and stuff. Interesting, solid stuff. You might say, yeah, but there is no documentary crew following me around. No, maybe not, but God is always watching. You know, remember that? Yeah. I guess I don't have to add anything to this one because it's just brilliant, that concept. You know what you should be doing. I know what I should be doing. At least some of the things. So then maybe we should do it. And you know, when it comes to movies, that's one thing. And then often oftentimes the training montage is like 2 minutes or 5 minutes, like really short. And then they win or they become successful. But in real life, yeah, it's oftentimes extremely different than that. But despite that fact, I've heard of several stories of people sharing their journeys online as they were starting out, because you know, sometimes people online, they don't only want to follow the super successful person, because sometimes they might be so far away from that success that they want to achieve that they feel they have very little things in common with that with that person. You've probably noticed it a lot that when it comes to successful marketers, if they are a multi-millionaire and they want to sell things, books or courses about success or about making money, they usually have to talk about usually to be successful, they oftentimes talk about their struggles, what they used to be. Not that long ago, I was living on a couch with only $47 in my bank account, like Tai Lopez says, you know. And there's a bunch of examples like that, so they kind of have to, yeah, talk about the journey. But also, there are success stories of people having shared their journey without being super successful at the beginning. They were sharing their journey. This is what I'm going to do. No, I'm doing this. It didn't work. I failed. I tried this instead. I tried this way. I tweaked it. I got advice. Now I'm testing this. They're kind of sharing their journey. Gary Vee has a piece of advice when it comes to creating content to post online, and it's document, don't create. So you can document your journey, and on your way of documenting your journey, when you become successful, you might have built a pretty big audience, which might turn into a great asset in and of itself, you know. If you share your journey on multiple social media platforms or on a podcast or on a blog, you might be building up an audience that you can later on maybe sell things to or promote things to, or earn money on promotions, whatever. Or you can just use it as a way to keep yourself accountable. You'll probably not be filming yourself 24/7, but at least you can create content documenting your journey regularly, so it helps keep you accountable. And you also get a little bit of that effect of having a documentary crew following you around 24/7. You get a tiny little bit of that effect by documenting it yourself and posting it, you know. And how many people that are successful wish they were documenting their journey? It would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But of course, I guess this depends a lot from situation to situation, of course. There's not everything we want to be public about. But yeah. Rooting for the underdog. A lot of people like that. So you don't always have to be super successful in order to yeah, have an impact and be successful at things like content creation, you know. So yeah, that's basically the little nugget of advice that I just wanted to share today. That gem from Joe Rogan. And try to think about it. If you really were in that situation now, that for some strange reason, some multi-billionaire were sending out a documentary film crew to document your future incredible success story, what would you be doing? What would you not be doing? Exciting stuff. Anyway, that's it for the episode. And if you have not yet checked it out, you should check out communitycashcows.com, especially if you want to build your own cash cow, your own cash cow business, you know. I'm in the process of interviewing 30 real-life success stories of people that have built a paid community and they're earning at least $10,000 in profit per month. It's really exciting stuff. And the reason I'm calling it community cash cows is because a lot of those people are actually running their business as a kind of cash cow business, as a form of semi-passive income. Really exciting stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in building your own cash cow and maybe escaping the matrix and the 9 to 5 and the 9 to 5 rat race, yeah, check out communitycashcows.com. Take care and God bless.